Hey, what's going on, guys? TheHORRORman back with an updated, in-depth ranking of the Friday the 13th franchise. It's been a while since I ranked the Friday the 13th films, and with Friday the 13th being tomorrow, I thought now would be the perfect time to revisit this list. I'm sure YouTube will be flooded with other Friday the 13th videos tomorrow, so you'll be getting my Friday the 13th ranking today, on Friday the 12th. I will only be ranking official Friday the 13th films, no fan films, and I will be including all available complete cuts of the films. Unfortunately, with that being said, while many of the movies have slashed scenes, they don't necessarily have complete versions including those slashed scenes. As with all of my other rankings, I will be starting with my least favorite and counting down to my favorite Friday the 13th film. And please keep in mind, this is just my personal opinion. So, here we go. My updated and in-depth ranking of the Friday the 13th franchise. In dead last is Friday the 13th, 2009, the Friday the 13th remake. I know this will be looked at as blasphemy from Brad and probably some others, but I just can't get into this one. I really feel like they try too hard to be hip. It feels too modern, and it just doesn't work for me. Plus, I can't stand almost all of the characters. It's kind of cool that they remade the first 4 original Friday the 13th films into one movie, but I still don't like it that much. It does feature perfect nipple placement, though. That was the Friday the 13th, 2009 theatrical cut in last place. And next is Friday the 13th, 2009 unrated version, also known as the Killer Cut. This version of the film features extra dialogue, violence, and sexual content. Despite that, it's still my least favorite film in the Friday the 13th franchise. Coming up next is Jason X. I've never been a huge fan of sci-fi horror, but there are exceptions. This, however, isn't one of them. Do I have fun watching it? Sure. I mean, it's still a slasher film. It's a slasher in space. And it features one of the greatest kills in the entire franchise. But compared to the rest of the films, I have to rank this one here. Next on my list is Freddy vs. Jason. Now hear me out. I really do love this movie. In fact, I probably loved it even more when I first saw it. But here's the thing. I like it more as a Nightmare on Elm Street film. I just don't like the way Jason's character was written in this. He's too one-note. To me, this has always felt like more of an Elm Street film. And if I were ranking that franchise, I'd probably rank it higher. Next up is Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday, the R-rated cut. That's important. This version of the film omits a bunch of gore and some other stuff, so I'll talk more about the movie when I discuss the unrated cut. Next is Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. I really wasn't sure if I was going to rank this one higher or lower than Jason Goes to Hell, which is why I decided to sandwich it between the two versions of that film. I'm not a huge fan of the whole Carrie versus Jason storyline in this. I don't like the telekinesis. The whole thing is a bit convoluted, and like Friday the 13th, 2009, the cast of characters are very unlikable. I do like the party aspects. I mean, a slasher film at a party is always fun. But overall, The New Blood is definitely one of the weaker sequels for me. Which brings us to the unrated cut of Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. This version of the film is a lot gorier and features some really well done practical effects. It also includes a lengthier, more explicit sex scene, so that's a plus. Guys, I know this movie gets a lot of hate, but I find it really entertaining. Yes, I know it's different, and I know that's a reason behind a lot of the discontent, but it works for me. It's so over the top, and I love watching to see whose body Jason will take over next. Plus, we get some backstory into the Voorhees family, so that's cool. It also not only crosses into the Elm Street universe, but the Evil Dead universe as well. I find Jason Goes to Hell, especially the unrated cut, very underrated. But again, this is just my opinion. Next up is the original Friday the 13th. It's a classic, there's no denying that. It pretty much wrote the book on camp slashers. But that final chase scene, man does it drag. It definitely has some pacing issues. Regardless, it led the way for this iconic franchise. One thing I absolutely do love about the original though, the rain. The rainstorm adds a whole nother layer to this slasher classic, and so does the additional gore in the unrated version of Friday the 13th, next on my ranking. If I'm going to watch the original Friday the 13th, I'm choosing the unrated version. Next is a favorite among many, and it used to be my favorite. It's Jason Lives, Friday the 13th, Part 6. So I'll start with what I love about this one. The fact that the camp actually has campers. I like the child characters. The counselors in this one, however, again, not that likable and not that memorable. What I dislike or enjoy less is the fact that I think the movie spends a bit too much time on the Tommy on the Run storyline. I'm way more interested in Jason than Tommy. I'm also not a huge fan of Zombie Jason, and this is his first appearance. Even still, Jason Lives is a great sequel. You know what else is a great sequel that doesn't always get the credit it deserves? Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. What a blast. Jason Takes Vancouver, more specifically, as I like to call it. I mean, the whole movie is Jason literally just killing character after character. It's Jason on a boat. It's Jason in a city. There are some awesome kills. I like the unique setting, and I really like Kane Hodder as Jason in this one. I also really like Jason's look. He's very wet. The ending, well, that's a negative, but we're not looking for perfection here. Next up is Friday the 13th, Part 3 in 3D. It's Friday the 13th, Part 3, but it's in 3D. That's repetitive. I prefer the regular 2D version, however, simply because I do not own a 3D TV. This is another sequel that was once my favorite film in the franchise, but obviously that's changed. It's a little silly, and I think over time I've realized that more and more. I like the music, however, and I actually like the characters, including Shelley. This one is sort of iconic because it's when Jason gets his hockey mask. And Richard Brooker, who plays Jason in this one, is my favorite Jason of all. Friday the 13th, Part 3 also has my favorite opening in the franchise. It always makes me want chocolate donuts and macadamia nuts. We're into the top 3 now with the 4th film in the franchise, Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter. This is the movie that introduced Tommy, who goes on to be sort of the main final girl in the series. Sort of unique considering he's male. This one also has that twist in which you think one person is going to be the final girl, and it ends up being someone else. The Final Chapter probably has my favorite or second favorite cast of characters, but then there's Rob. He's killing me. No, Rob, you're killing us. In second place is Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. What can I say? This is almost the ultimate slasher film. And Jason isn't even the killer. Spoiler alert, I guess, but I'm sure you've all seen it. And yes, I know Jason wasn't the killer in the original Friday the 13th either, but in this one, you think Jason's the killer. At least, the first time you watched it, you probably did. Meanwhile, old Roy Burns racks up quite the body count. He almost puts Jason to shame, if we're talking about a single film. Great kills, great nudity, a great setting, even a great song. Ooh baby, and Reggie the Reckless, he's awesome too. I absolutely love A New Beginning. Which, of course, means my favorite Friday the 13th film is Friday the 13th, Part 2. I've said it before. Not only is Friday the 13th Part 2 my favorite Friday the 13th sequel, it's my favorite 80s slasher film. In fact, I think it's the ultimate slasher film. It has everything you could want. A great cast of characters, my favorite in the series, awesome kills, fantastic gratuitous nudity, one of the greatest final girls of all time, and Baghead Jason. A lot of people don't dig that look, but I do. I could watch this movie over and over again and never get tired of it. In fact, I do that. I watch it again and again. I don't want to scare anyone, but I'm gonna give it to you straight about Jason. Friday the 13th Part 2 is my #1 favorite in the franchise. So there you have it, guys, my updated and in-depth ranking of the Friday the 13th franchise. What do you think? Comment below and let me know. Happy Friday the 13th. Thanks for watching, guys. Be kind. Subscribe.